Hey, welcome back to another video. This one is going to be a screening video where I go through some recent orders and take each book, grade them. I've got orders that I received with unboxing videos from Eastside Comics, Black Cape Comics, and a Boxed Heroes mystery box. So these items have already been revealed on other videos through the unboxing. And as promised, this is me going through each issue and grading them, screening them myself, and kind of walking you through my screening and cataloging process once again. Really, the only tools you need are the comics themselves, spreadsheet, and I prefer mechanical pencil to write the grade on the back of the board. So let's check this out. I'm going to start with the order I received from Eastside Comics. Got this back, ordered at the end of May and just got it recently. And it was a 2-issue order. I got the Many Deaths of Layla Starr #1, the In-Hyuk Lee exclusive version. Which again, looks like it goes this way, but it's actually this way. So pretty cool. So we're going to start with that. Take it out of the bag and board very carefully, slide it out. And let's take a look. Spine looks good. That's just art right there. The cover is a matte cover, not the glossy. So looks pretty nice and clean. No real scratches or anything. This down here is of some concern. To move this out of the way to get it in focus here. There we go. So that right there is a little bit concerning, but it's not too bad. So those are the things I look at where I go, okay, is it impact damage? Is it regular just manufacturing damage? It's tough. It's really tough. It's not a pressable defect. I think I let that go because the rest of the book looks so good. A little bit of whitening up there. Really not too bad otherwise. So to me, this gets a 9.8. Spine looks really clean, very little stress around the staples. Really what you'd expect to see with that. Bag and board, there really was nothing wrong with it. But I am going to put it in the fullback. I don't use Mylights for these. I know that's what you're supposed to use, but I really can kind of do without. And I just go with a regular BCW silver or standard bag. So I'm just going to write on the back of the board, and with the fullbacks, there's the side that has, you can't really see it on the video, but there's the side that has the kind of a textured bumpy side, and then there's the smoother side. The smooth side goes toward the comic, so you don't want all of those bumps from the fullback to eventually affect the book over time. All right, slide that in. Oh, looks like my cat's been in here. Okay. There, that looks really good from a presentation perspective. Get out the trusty Scotch tape. Peel off a piece. All right, there we go. Now that looks great. So because I gave it a 9.8, what this means is I would trust myself to completely send this into CGC and would expect a 9.8 in return. I would give it one more look before I send it in, but really I would have no issue at all sending that into CGC with full confidence on a 9.8. Now we want to catalog this in the system. So I go over to Go Collect, search for the book, and sometimes there's a little bit of a hang-up or a delay. They don't have every variant, that's okay. This is why I use both Cover Price and Go Collect, because more often than not it's in one and not the other. And here it is, added as a 9.8. See, I've got quite a few of these in my collection already. And this was purchased Originally May 24th. Took a little while to get here. Yeah, that was my first order from Eastside Comics. So, East Comics. Alright. So essentially, from what I can see here, this book, it's just sort of holding at the original purchase price. I think they're selling for roughly about $40. Okay. So then I'll take this one and put it aside, and that goes in the pile for loading into the short box. All right. So the next one up is this gorgeous Wonder Woman Black and Gold variant from Warren Liu. I didn't realize it was square bound. You can kind of see I try and hold the book like this just to avoid fingerprints. Yes, I could use gloves. Probably should use gloves. But I'm starting to examine the edge. Looks pretty good. Looks really good here. And here, little slight ding, but really not much. All the corners are really, really square. Tiny, tiny speck of white up there, really nothing. You can see here, no scratches whatsoever. So this is looking like a real 9.8. Nothing on the back. A little bit of, gosh, right there at the bottom, you could see just a little bit of white down there. But really, each edge looks really, really good. As I just, I end up damaging the books myself more than they are in transit just because of my clumsiness. Right there at the top, is that anything to be concerned with? No, I think it's a 9.8. I think it's a 9.8. I would hesitate. The only reason I would give it a 9.6 is the bottom. Sometimes I've seen books I get back from CGC and I'm like, wait a minute, there's no way. I know for a fact that that's a 9.8. What's wrong with that? And I'll flip it over and I'll see that it's just that bottom of the back page, and maybe it's something else too. But to me, that's why. The book looks super clean. Otherwise, again, there's nothing wrong with the bag and board that it came in. It's just I prefer to use my own so that they're consistent in the short box, so that all the bags and boards are the same. So again, I'm gonna write on the back 9.8. And while this isn't a commercial for my eBay store, I guess, just because I have my items up there as buy it now, you know, I'm trying to put high quality books up there. I'm certainly setting aside 9.8 candidates for grading because I'm a collector. I don't do this for a living. I'm not a hype man. I just collect comics. I love comics. I've been doing this since I was a kid and just curating my collection over time. But certainly as I've gotten older and spent more money on comics, I will often buy multiple copies. And just kind of using the, I don't know, is it the Sith rule of 3 or the Dark Lord comic perspective rule of 3? I don't remember exactly what the rule is, but if you're all in on a book, you get 3 copies. You try and take the very, very best one and keep it for yourself, right? If you're a collector, that's what you're doing. Maybe you keep a reader copy. You keep one raw for yourself, and maybe get one graded. And maybe you want to sell one and maybe cover the cost if the price of the book takes off and jumps. I mean, why not? You want to try and see if you can fund the hobby using your expertise. All right, let's get this one entered. Again, probably my cover of the year. There's just something about it. I just love it. All right. Of course, I forgot in here, it was not in Go Collect, the Layla Star. Yes, it was in cover price. My grade was a 9.8. And then let's see if this is in Go Collect. And it is. So this is the trade. 9.8. Again, what am I doing? This is not a CGC graded book. I mark every book in my personal collection list on Go Collect as if it is CGC graded. And the reason I do that is because Go Collect reports on the current list of CGC graded books, and I can create reports out of Go Collect that shows me what these books are going for in a 9.8, and then I can decide if those books that I've given a 9.8 should be sent in to CGC or CBCS or any other grading company. Cover price is just the opposite. I'm instead of graded, I'm looking to see what the raw values are. Now they have just recently been kind of promoting and elevating their data on graded books, but I really use Go Collect for graded values, and then cover price, I guess now technically for both, but really more for the raw. Okay, so here, Wonder Woman Black and Gold, found it. All of these are just fantastic. The Middleton cover is great too. Really, really great. Here's the Warren Lu raw 9.8. Alright. And that's saved. Alright, so that's been data entered. Go back to the spreadsheet. It's available in both. And 9.8. So East Side, awesome. 2 books, 2 9.8s. Come in here and we'll take an average, which again is rather silly. We're taking the average of 9.8, but really it's just to keep consistency in the spreadsheet, and then a lot of these formulas that I copy paste from, then I can just keep them going and copying them down. So 51.65 to 51.66. That is my percentage chance to get a 9.8 from this order, and it is 100%. I'm going to go back and look at the ledger stats too. Let's add East Side in here. And all I need to do is just copy the whole. Oh, that's right, because the LCS is a little bit different. There we go. So now East Side, 2 out of 2, 9.8, 100% chance. And I personally graded those 2 books at a 9.8. So now if we resort, oops. So I sort by the percentage chance to get a 9.8 and then the average grade if there's a tie. And now East Side is right up there again. Small sample size, 1 bad order, and you tumble out of perfection real quick. But yeah, right up there. 616, East Side, Ji-Hung Lee. Just ordered from each of them once. And then Scout in 4th place with Tifa in 5th. All right. Let's move on to the next order. I'm going to go ahead and put this book aside. Ready for sorting. Now in the next order, this was from Black Cape Comics. I got the Jenny Frison variant of Department of Truth #1 in a CGC 9.8 slabbed. So that was already obviously graded, ready to go. And so what I will do with that one, let's go back here for a second. Right here, we can go ahead and data enter that one. Department of Truth 1, here it is. And then instead of adding it to the personal collection, it'll be personal collection CGC. And that's really how I use Go Collect for managing my raw books and my graded, is I just create different lists. And this order date on these guys, July 6th. They delivered this this order so fast. I want to say it arrived in like 3 or 4 days. I was really happy with it. I mean, that was my first order from Black Cape, and you should definitely go back and look at the unboxing, the way they packaged that order. It was incredible. Probably one of the best, if not the best, packaging jobs of any online comic store I've ever ordered from. Okay, so that's in there. Let's see what that's doing right now. So the sale history, 9.8, July 1st, 110, June 30th, about 100 for 9.8, 105, 130. So I probably overpaid slightly for it, but with Black Cape, when I ordered, I forget what their minimum order is, $75 or 100, it was free shipping. So you get their great shipping service, and it was free. So that, to me, offset the price that I paid, because if I were buying it on eBay or anywhere else, you're probably paying somewhere between $15 and $20 just to ship it. So if you knock that off the price, then I'm probably paying slightly under market. And those are the things with online stores. Everybody rushes to eBay, Whatnot, and all these places. Sometimes the online stores, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, they're going to give you free shipping. And if you're buying from Whatnot, and the sellers don't even know what they're doing on Whatnot, and they're putting books up for single books that you're buying for $2 or $3, and it's $8 to ship. All right. So I'll go ahead and add this one, and this is a CGC 98. We'll add that. And Cover Price is reporting these at $132.50. You know, this is where you kind of have to take everything with a grain of salt. Like Go Collecta's listing fair market is $100. Cover Price is showing it $132.50. You know, somewhere between the two, I would imagine, is where we're at. But I think I don't think that will go up as fast as Something Is Killing the Children. But man, it's such a great read that it's definitely going to increase over time. Let's just say that. How much it will increase, I don't know. But that Jenny Frison cover, that's a $300 book to me at some point. Just like Something Is Killing the Children #1 was $300 for a while. It's going to sit at $300, probably hit its first ceiling and kind of even out there, with Cover A beating it out just a little bit. Even though I think this is a better cover, I think it'll even out and just fall below Cover A slightly. And then they'll both sit around $300 for a while until we hear more option news. Okay, let's get on with the rest of the order. I'll just wrap this up. Yes, they're both in 9.8. I'll do this first so you can see the numbers changing. That's the average. Yeah, average of 9.8 is still 9.8. And what is our chance? Chance for Black Cape Comics will be 5169 through 5172. If you're ever interested in some of these formulas, let me know. Be happy to share them with you, although you could just pause the video and grab them as well. All right, so far, 1 out of 1. Let's continue the Department of Truth here, looking at Department of Truth issue 4. This is just the first print. Like Something Is Killing the Children, I am going to try and get as many copies of the first print, and maybe even some later printings, but have 2 or 3 copies of the single digit issues, and try and have them in as high a grade as possible. And so far I've got multiple copies of #1 in different forms, and working on the other single digit issues. So this is my second copy of #4. Looks really good. This is that not quite as thin Marvel-ish cover, where it's not glossy necessarily. Semi-gloss. Looks good. Looks really good. Sorry about that. I was holding it a little off camera, but yeah, it looks good. Bottom looks pretty clean. I really don't see any issues there from the corner. And I gotta move these books out of focus because it keeps trying to focus on them. There we go. That's better. Okay. So that little white right there, just standard corner softening. Really nothing out of the ordinary. Spine looks really nice all the way up and down the back there. Same thing with the front. I don't really really see any issues there. Looks good. Looks really good. That's a 9.8. Very nice. And again, nothing wrong necessarily with the bag and board. You'd argue like, well, if it arrived all the way from Black Cape Comics as a 9.8, why not keep it? But I do what I want. I replace it. Okay. In the new bag and board. And again, I'm sort of sliding it just slightly off the desk so that I can get my hand under to pick it up. And I let gravity do the rest. Slide it in. Okay. I use the BCW silver bag and board. I like the white border around it. I think it looks clean that way. It's what I've been doing with all of my books, so they're all looking like that. I love the consistency of it. And that's the way it's going to be. All right. Now it's centered. Okay. Let's search some more. Department of Truth. Number 4. So as I mentioned, this is my second issue. Third overall, I do have a cover B. This is a great variant, the cover D. Already fair market value of $260. I love that cover. Really, really cool. So different variants there. I start getting lost looking at all these. Got to stay on target. Condition 9.8. Sticking with the CGC. Acquired July 6th. And why is all of this important? Why don't I fill out every field? Why this? Why that? When I look at condition variants or multiple copies, what's telling me the difference is the grade, the date I acquired it, and where I acquired it from. And that's how I can tell one from the other. So I guarantee the other copy I have is from Things from Another World. So when I go to sell or manage my inventory, I know if I'm selling the copy I got in a 9.8 from TIFA or the 9.8 copy from Black Cape Comics. And really that's all I need to know. If I have multiple 9.8s or multiples of the same grade, then really it doesn't matter. You just pick one. Department of Truth, number 4. You'll see too, there's some, the grade in cover price was just recently added. So the ability to specify a raw grade, I want to say they added that maybe a month or two ago. So sometimes the books I have the raw grade. So you'll see I have a 9.8, 9.8, 9.8, 9.6, and then others down here. I have grades for them. They're just not in cover price because I've been doing data entry and cover price for almost 2 years now. And eventually kind of go back through and update it, but just I'm taking my time with that. All right, so if we go down to number 4 and find the 9.8, almost a $10 book according to cover price. And I got this at Black Cape Comics for cover price. Okay. So how long can I keep this streak going of 9.8s? Department of Truth, 9.8. That's 4 for 4 today. Very carefully pick that up, put it aside. So I have a short box sitting down under my desk of it's cute. It's like it's the books that need to be screened and cataloged, and then the books that need to go organized into my short box catalog. All right, let's get this going. Switch gears, although same author, James Tynion. Something is Killing the Children, number 11. The single digits of this series are pretty much through the roof now. You either have them now or you don't. I did buy, I think it was issue 7. Might have overpaid a little bit, but it was the one issue I was missing in the run, and I got it a few months ago. And just, I had to have the full run since I had invested so much in it already. All right, so at first glance, really looks clean. I don't see any fingerprints, especially over here in the black. It looks all right. Corner looks sharp. Edge of the book looks really, really nice. Don't really see any issues here. Again, all these books have the same sort of issue with just that little touch of speck of white on the corner. I've got 9.8s that are in far worse condition on the corner, so it's all good there. But I'm looking really for anything in the spine here. It's nice and clean. There was a little bit of white speck of dust that I kind of moved off there, but really nothing there. I'm trying to be cognizant of any kind of sweat or moisture on my hands, so I'm trying not to mash in it. And yes, on the bottom I'm holding it like this, even though I am still starting to sweat here. Minor staple stress. A little bit of just, again, that was just a white speck of dust I just got off, but looks really, really good. That corner looks, again, just that weird little white softening, but really nothing there. Little, I'd say just a gentle spine tick there, but not color breaking. And that would be that one that I would say is allowed. So it's still in that 9.8 realm. Let's see here. Now the back is starting to show a little bit of my fingerprints. And of course I don't have anything in here. Let's see if this will work. I do have some extra towels from my humidity chamber. Let's see if I can just gently rub a little bit of that off. So that's right there. That's where I'd say gloves. Start using gloves. But then I sweat into the gloves, and then it's gross that I'm even telling this story. But I'm sweating in the gloves, and then the gloves get all wet. So anyway, I'm going to use the towel. I think maybe just to at least kind of just wipe my hands off in between the books. That's the dangerous part. So now it does have fingerprints. I know that I can get the fingerprints out just with a nice light rub with a tissue. All right, fine. So I'll do it the right way. You can get any kind of tissue from your favorite retailer. And this is the better way to do it because you can actually press on the book. And those markings are more or less gone. You could still, they're sort of faint in there, but that's where you have to be careful when you're grabbing the books. So this is an example of where I may have damaged the book myself. I think it's okay, but more importantly, what I just noticed is on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this book and show you the slight damage that I do see along with the fingerprints that I just added. But right here on the back, let's get it angled in the light as best I can. Right there, there's just a slight little dent that's going in and out right there. So that, and then right at the top, right there. So typically what that is somebody putting the book in the bag and you shove it down with your finger right there. And this really is nothing you would notice on the book, right? So this book looks nice and clean. There's really no issue with it from the front. It's sitting in the bag at an LCS and somebody puts $10 on it and you're like, yeah, it looks great. I'm going to send it into CGC, right? I'm going to get every single issue slabbed. And this will come back as a 9.6 or a 9.4, and the grader's notes are, that ding right there, the ding right there, and then somebody with sweaty palms just sweat all over the back. So that is what it is. Again, I take all the emotion out of it. No need to get angry. I still love the series. I'm still going to replace the bag and board. And so what I will do is I will assess this and give it a 9.4. I know that fingerprints by themselves at least knock it down. I have a great book in my collection that is a 9.6 that looks like a 9.8, and I did get the grader's notes from CGC, and the grader's notes, the only thing in the grader's notes was fingerprints. Now, the difference with this one is that this ding in the corner, or near the corner, and the one on the side, I believe those can be pressed out. So I'm going to just mark it with that designation. So I would come back and try and clean that book and press it out. Now, is this book worth cleaning and pressing? Not right now. The print run on like issue 11 is higher than the issues that came before it. So I'm not super concerned about that. That did break the streak. Still a great looking cover, great looking book. But that's something that I would look at down the road as far as trying to give it a little bit of a quick press and at least bump it to a 9.6. And I'm not slabbing every book in my collection. So it's just fine with me. And look, I've got 2 other copies anyway, so it's fine. I just jumped at the chance to add one because, like I said, I'm trying to acquire multiple copies of these and several other series. All right, so let's give it a 9.4. You could argue it's a 9.6 still. I would prefer to press out those 2 imperfections and then move it to 9.6. And this was Black Cape. Let's see if the regular cover is moving. $7 fair market value for a raw. So am I heartbroken over the 9.4? No. 11. Where are you? Right there. All right. Why don't I put in the purchase price? I don't really know if I want to share the purchase price with you for everything that I buy. Also, there's no data. There's no profit analysis anywhere on any of these sites that I'm aware of. I track that in my spreadsheet. So if I want to see what things are costing, then I have all of this analysis built in, where it keeps track of everything everything I paid and the costs associated. And then I do some, when I go to sell things, I look at sale price modeling and other stats as far as like what are the costs involved for a 9.8 and a non-9.8. You know, I have different things that I do with the costs, but having them in Go Collect and Cover Price, I think has been kind of a waste of time. So I stopped doing that. 9.4. So is this a reflection of them or me? Both, maybe. It's tough to say. It's not necessarily a knock on Black Cape Comics. Definitely the dings, on it alone. Those dents are, again, this is where it's like, maybe it's a 9.5. The fingerprints I kind of wiped off, so I'm not really concerned with that too much. But I'm trying to be conservative. So if I put this up on eBay as a near mint copy, somebody wants to get it, press it up to a 9.8. Awesome. It's fine with me. I may do the same and keep it. So that goes there. And then the last one from Black Cape is Wind issue 2 on a James Tynion run here. So my hands are nice and dry this time. I don't have to worry about wasting time cleaning a book that I held for too long. So as I do these screening videos, I'm going to try and go a little faster so that 1, it's not as boring, and 2, I don't mess up the book by holding it for too long. Okay, so this is a thick book, quite a few pages here. So I'm expecting some spine splitting in the corner. You see there. Get this out of the way. It's messing with the focus. Again, same thing with the corner. Those are allowed as far as book condition. That's not impact damage. It's very, very pristine. Now, the thing with this one, if you can see in the light there, right there, I don't know what that is. It looks like something was on the book. This is kind of what I was saying in the unboxing. It's actually going all the way across. Almost as if the book that was on top of this, and here I'm sweating again, so I'm just going to put it down. The book that was on top almost like peeled off or stuck to the other one. And honestly, this is where I'm an amateur grader. I don't really know how bad that is on these glossy books. Some might say it's manufacturing. Some might say, nope, that's color rub. I don't know what that is going across, but these are the things that you just don't see and why I take every book out of the bag. So when I see this, when I get books like this, and I don't know what to do with it, again, when I feel comfortable saying, yep, I'm going to spend $20, $25, $30, $35, whatever it is now for grading, am I going to send that in? I mean, it's crispy otherwise. No issues with the spine and so on. Am I going to send that in? I don't know. No, I'm not. And if I'm not going to send it in because I'm worried that I would get dinged, then I'm not going to give it a 9.8 either. But do I punish a book in my collection because of whatever that is on the top? Yeah, I don't know. So I err on the side of caution and I give it a 9.4. Again, a professional grader might assess, like they might measure it or look at the number of it. To me, that's pointless. I can't rack my brain and try and deal and assess with all of that because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to get a job with a grading company. I'm trying to just figure out the most decent or appropriate grade so that I can identify which books are of the highest quality in my collection. So it looks great otherwise. There's really no issue that I can see with that book being as thick as it is, with the corners looking the way they are, all four that are in great shape, normally what you would see on a 9.8. I'm not going to punish the book. Again, if I'm selling the book somewhere, if I'm on Whatnot and I'm streaming and I'm getting people to hype the book for me, am I boasting that it's a 9.8? No. I mean, we're talking about a $5 book. 9.4. So this is another series I'm trying to get. I have issue 1. Now I have issue 2, and I'm missing issue 3 and 4. July 6. All right, it's in both systems as a 9.4. So Black Cape on that order, 9.6 average. Half of the books, 2 out of 4, were 9.8. Going to add them, and I'll do it up here instead. So I can do that. Black Cape Comics. Actually, it's easier if I just do that. Control D. There we go. Now I'll sort this again. So Black Cape is 6th, right behind Tifa. 2 out of 4, 9.6. Just above Unknown Comics and Comics Elite. All right. So same thing, even though it's a 9.4. Again, love these stores and their branding, but it's more important for me for for my collection to have consistency. So this one I'm just going to put a 9.4, and I'm going to leave it. I don't think a cleaning in a press is going to help that book. Certainly if I wanted to put some chemicals on it and try and get the items off the front, then I could do that. But I'm not for a $5 book. If Wind becomes a major motion picture and this book is $1,000, then I'll pay somebody to clean it for me. But I'm not going to mess with it. So this is going into the PC as a near mint copy, and looks great otherwise. All right. So that completes the two online comic book stores, Black Cape and Eastside. Now we're going to move to Box Heroes, and I'm going to have to put in each book as I got them. And this is going to take a little bit of time here, hopefully not too long, but I mentioned before in my unboxing video that with Box Heroes, this sticker drives me crazy because it starts to press and get into the mylar of the book behind it and in front, depending on how they're stacked. So I have to go through each one. I keep the fullback. Fullbacks are worth about 50 cents. So if you've got 10, you're doing the math at home, it's $5 worth of fullbacks. So I keep them. All right. So go through. Really tough to peel off, and I don't even save the mylar, unfortunately, because this is what happens. All of this, it's hard to tell, but this adhesive just sits on the back, and you can't put a piece of tape unless you're going to cover the whole thing. And it's too bad. I can't keep it, but it's just the way it is. I've written them about it. I've asked for them to stop, and they keep doing it. It's their stuff. I still like the service. So I'll keep this. And in fact, if it does have the sticker on this, that's fine. Although they put it on the wrong side. But I'll keep it together. So I'll put this one, I'll keep the full back for this one. This book does not deserve a full back necessarily, but I'll keep it nonetheless. So typically with Boxed Heroes, the brand new books do generally come in at 9.8 or 9.6. And looking at the edge, it looks pretty good. I don't really see too many problems with it here. I don't know if that's better or worse in terms of lighting, but looks good. I don't really see too many issues. Edge looks fine. That looks okay. Now for the back, get the Black Widow ad. So it has a black cover. Don't really see too much here. Right there, we got a little something. You know what, that's, and that line, let's see if I can angle it again. You can see right there. Yeah, right there. It's going all the way up to the edge. So that's about a 1-inch dent or fold. So what do I do with that? Again, I'm not going to waste months of everybody's time at CGC trying to get that book slabbed as a 9.8. However, that would be a great pressing candidate. So I'll make note of this on the back. Give it a 9.6 as it is. And option to improve it with a press. And of course I wrote on the wrong side. So let's fix that. I've got a better eraser here. Take that right off. It's on the right side. Okay. I was used to, so this should be the back. This has the texture. So they do it backwards. That's another huge pet peeve of mine is when people put, I don't want to say put the bag and board the wrong way. It's when people put the bag and board differently than I do. I feel like the more texture the one side has, the more away from the book it should be. Just because you never know. There's these little textures, whatever, on the back. Over time, they're going to add little dimples to the cover. Okay. So let's try and speed things up a little bit. X-Men #1 is going to be hard to find in Go Collect, so hopefully we're able to find a variant. Not Scotty Young's first X-Men #1. So this is a little tedious here. Sometimes I can search year on the page. They just don't have it in Go Collect. X-Men 1. How about cover price? 43 variants for X-Men #1. 43. Holy smokes. Gorgeous rogue cover. Of course, the J. Scott Campbell is awesome. All right, and there's my Scotty Young just sitting there at good old less than cover price. Yep. So again, this is why I'm not heartbroken when these come in and I find something wrong with them, because they're just cover price books for right now. $6.19 will be our new purchase date. All right, nothing to copy and paste from. X-Men #1. Scotty Young. Not in Go Collect. Yes, in cover price. And we gave it, I think it was a 9.6, right? 9.6. 9.6 that could not, well, no, I did say press. I forgot to add that. 9.6. And for me, I put the P next to the grade because it's a 9.6 as is, but it is a candidate for pressing. but as it stands, still 9.6. Average. Let me get the average going. And copy this one. I want to see that one build over time. This is a larger order. 5175, 5184. Oh, and the other thing too, let me delete this grade so we can, what is Boxed Heroes at right now? Boxed Heroes right now, before the data entry, average grade is around a 9, close to a 9.1. 33% of orders are typically 9.8. Now, with that, one of the reasons that the average is 9 is because they often include older books. And it's fun. It's fun to get older books. This one is a little older. I think this is a 2016, 2017 Venom 35. I mean, I can already see in the bag there's an issue right there. So you get some older books. They're not pristine, 9.8. They're nostalgic, they're fun. They're not books that you're going to send off to CGC because the folks at Boxed Heroes probably would have done that themselves instead of putting them in a mystery box. It's just sort of common sense. So here's nothing. Here's a plain fullback, and I'm going to put that aside and keep that for a more worthy book. Right here off the bat, so this is a little bit more interesting than the other brand new books because this definitely has defects, and what do I do with those? So yeah, right off the bat we have down there, I can kind of fix the corner a little, but it's completely rubbed. So already right there on the edge, I'm taking that down to a 9.6 just for that alone. Has some spine curling. So as soon as I see that, I immediately know that it's going to get that pressing candidate designation. But down here too, we've got that corner. So there's the rolling, if you can see it right in there. Now for the back. Spine's okay. You know, I don't see too much going on with the spine. Looks pretty good. It's not too bad. I mean, is it a 9.4? Yeah, maybe. I don't see any significant spine ticks. Let's get it a little closer. You know, like 1 there, 2, 3, 4. So 4-ish. Corner's okay on the back. I'm just giving the back another once over. So this takes a little bit longer when it's not a 9.8. So what is this? It's a 9.4 with a press. I don't see any cover markings or anything really. I mean, what would you say? I found another issue there. So typically what I do is if I'm right on the fence and I'm not trying to find, let's get it right there in the light, right there. I don't know what that is. If I open it, you can kind of see on the inner cover right there by Cap Shield. It's a fold. It's pressable, but I was on the fence. Is it a 9.2 or 9.4? But that right there tells me it's a 9.2. So it's a 9.2, but still a press candidate. I don't know much about this book, I'll be honest. So before I start figuring out, well, am I going to rebag it, reboard it, I'll do the data entry part first. So let's figure out, what is this book? Venom 35. And this book is from 2013, so it's older than I thought. Declan Shalvey was the artist, that's cool. May 29th, 2013. I don't believe it's really in any demand. Let's check cover price. Raw comic, $4.78. It's a $2.99 cover, so it's gone up a little bit. 9.2, June 19th. So again, the date, the grade, and the source give it kind of that unique identifier for me. Not so much the price paid. Price paid is just sort of irrelevant. 9.2. So this is the 2011. It's my first book in that series. And I do this all the time where I forget the date just because I'm data entering so much. And this is Boxed Heroes. Oops. You know what? I'm going to put that in. I was going to put it in something I got from Scout, but they called this branded. So this is just an extra bag and board, perfectly fine. Came in one of the other orders, so I'm just going to do that and rebag it quickly here. Let's say 9.2. Okay, so that's a 9.2. I think I can improve that one. I'm gonna put at least the spine roll, or the spine curling. It's not a roll necessarily. I think I call it roll more often than not. But the curling can be pressed. Maybe those corners get a little sharper. I think I can bump it to a 9.4. Again, am I pressing every single book I get? No. But if for some reason that book becomes hot because some speculator started hyping it, well, then I can go back and deal with it. Now, this one has a spine roll. So this is Daredevil Annual 2. And let's open this and have some fun with this one. It's actually quite an effort to get this sticker off. And it hurts me every time that I've got to get rid of all the Mylar. All right, now this one, put the board aside. Now this one's interesting. It has a horrible wrap. I can't stand comics that are miswrapped. I have watched a number of videos where they've actually walked you through how to correct this, where you lay the book flat and you actually press it flat and you can rewrap it. So this might be valuable to me. What am I doing right now? I'm looking for the center. I can't find the center. But anyway, you find the center where the staples are. Does this even have staples? Or is it just, oh, maybe that's why. There are no staples in this. It's just bound together somehow with adhesive or something. I don't know. I'd have to read up on it. There's probably something in Captain Mike's PDF or something that talks about this. But essentially, I've seen these folks where they rewrap it. You can kind of see how it's hanging over. But in any case, I don't know anything about this from 1990. At first, I thought it was some sort of white version of Man-Thing. But it says Man-Made Night Stalker. Anyway, so you typically won't get dinged on a bad wrap, but I can't stand it. I hate the look of it. So right off the bat, I don't like the book. It's not in terrible shape. There's definitely some discoloration at the bottom. I don't really know what that is, or some wrinkling. So I don't know if it's, yeah, there it is. You can really see it on the back. It's stained. So I don't know about this either. I see some people list raw books and it's like, oh, this is an 8.0 with water stains. And I'm like, well, so it's a 9.8 with water stains, or that took it down to an 8.0, or it would be an 8.0 if it didn't have the stains. Again, I'm not a professional grader, but because it has the stain, I'm looking at a probably about a 7 right off the bat. And there's definitely some nicks all over this. Could it be pressed? Sure. I mean, maybe it's a book I practice on, although the wrapping just makes it almost worthless to me. So a ding there. I'm down to a 7 already. Again, the gloss is there. There's not too much damage to the front. The corner at the top here is actually pretty good. I mean, it's not like there's anything with that corner that's making it worse. I mean, I'm thinking 7. Definitely now I'm seeing other things with the let's get it in that right there. Some curling, some denting. Right there, that's pretty bad. Like a 6.5. Harsh. I mean, it can be pressed. This is where I have to put my emotions in check because the wrap is so awful that I want to give it like a 4. The water stains really kills it for me. I was leaning 6.5. I was thinking 6.5. But I think, again, just to be on the safe side, on the conservative side, I'm going to go 6. And I'm going 6 because of the stain. Now, could this be pressed up and improved on? Again, just keeping things consistent. I believe so. Would I press this book and send it in to CGC? Never. Would I press it and put it up for auction and point out the water staining in the wrap? Maybe. To do what? To get $1? I don't know. That's disappointing. So that's part of the trouble with the mystery box. You get books like that maybe there's some value somewhere, but I mean, that's $1 book at best based on the condition, and you're paying more than $1 per book in the mystery box. Okay, I think I remember now. June 19th. That's why the Boxed Heroes average, you'll see here in a second, is low. It's around a 9. Because those are the kind of books that they throw in there. You're looking at it going, X-Men #1, Scotty Young, oh, that's awesome. And then you see a book like this from 1990 that has an average value of $3. I couldn't get $3 for that book if I tried. Couldn't get $3 for that book if I included a $3 book with it. 6. All right. There's that. And I think let me do the data entry on this one, and then let's see where we're at. Okay, so I did miss one. What was the one before it? It was Venom. Venom 35. Yes, and I gave it a 9.2. You can see their grade already down to a 9.4, and it's going to take a tumble again once we put in Daredevil Annual number 6 and 6.0. So that drops it to an 8.27, and that's exactly why their average grade is 9.043, because you see books like this come in. All right, in the sake of time, I'm going to do one more. So I will not be able to finish the Boxed Heroes right now. I'll come back in a part 2 and do the rest. Or I might do it offline. We'll see. This one. So before I grade it on this one, I'm going to do a search just to see. Because I think the cover on this Detective Comics number 15 looks to me like it has kind of a fun cover of the Joker with the die cut. Let's see what we can find. So at a 9.8 has a fair market value of $50. So that's cool. Let's see what the raw sells for. Nothing. $2.40. Okay, let's grade it. Grade this one, and we'll call it. I'm telling you, it takes a lot of work to get that sticker off. All right, get rid of the Mylar, put the board aside, and save it. I mean, I made $1.50 in extra fullbacks. So it's got the die cut Joker cover all the way through on the back. So it's almost like you got a grade 2 covers. So this cover looks to be really good. I'm going to try and go fast if possible. Looks okay. Minimal staple stress. That looks okay. Right there. So yeah, right there you could see, again, it's where it's like a finger or a thumbnail right there. That's what happens. So somebody's handling these and they're grabbing them. So that's pressable, yes, but 9.4. I think I can't tell if this is part of the cover or what that is. Right there. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure if that's art or not. I don't see it anywhere else. It looks... I don't know. It's hard to tell if that's dirt around the cover. I have to look at the image. I think it's part of the cover. Yeah, I'm looking at it right there. It's hard to see exactly. Yeah, I think it's part of the art. Okay. All right, I'll give him that. Weird. I really thought it was like fingerprint stuff, but I think it's like I don't know. It's like pieces of fingerprints or something. I honestly don't know. Again, I'm fretting over a $2 book right now. Like for real. So, I don't know. The rest of it looks to be okay. Is this a 9.8? Would I send this to CGC? No. That alone could be pressed. I don't know if I would press this. I'm not even going to mark it with a P for pressing. I'm going to give it a 9.4. I don't see any other issues anywhere. It looks fine. Yeah, I'm just going to go 9.4. I hate doing that when I'm just kind of putting my hands in the air. But unless you're going to really scrutinize that book to try and turn it into a $100 book, I mean, I just... no thanks. I don't want any part of it. You could argue like I should start grading those as a 9, but I don't think there's anything really wrong with it other than that bottom part that should be pressed, but I'm not going to press it. I'm not even going to mess with the die cut, so I don't even want to say that it's eligible because of the complications and the waste of time that you'd spend trying to press it. So that's why, even if it has pressable defects, I don't mark it as... pressable as an option to press it, because it wouldn't be worth anybody's time. I mean, I get that it just had a like here's a 9.851, 9.833. I'm not wasting my time with that. 9.4 CGC 6. Okay, almost done. Give it a 9.4. From 2011. I wonder if they got some sort of collection with issues from around that time. Who knows? 614. Or is it 619? 619. 619. Box zeros. Okay. Put it in the sheet and call it right there. Detective Comics 15. Yes, 9.4. Helps the overall. All right, let's end it there. We're 4 issues into the Boxed Heroes screening, but graded 10 books overall in this video. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for your patience. Appreciate you watching. Happy collecting, and see you next time.